Alex Kane walked out of his office building at exactly 12:25 every weekday. He wore an expensive suit and carried a black briefcase in one hand. In his other hand, he held 2 brown paper bags from Tony's Deli down the street. People on the sidewalk moved out of his way. Some recognized him from business magazines. Alex Kane was worth $3 billion. He owned Neurodyne Industries, a company that made super-fast computers. His building had 40 floors and his name was on the front in gold letters. But Alex did not care about any of that right now. He walked 3 blocks to Washington Square Park. His expensive shoes clicked on the concrete. He passed coffee shops and bookstores. He passed other rich people in suits talking on their phones about million-dollar deals. Alex turned into the park. There were trees with yellow leaves falling down. Students from the nearby university sat on benches reading books. Street musicians played guitar for tips. Pigeons walked around looking for food scraps. Alex found the same bench he always went to. It was old and painted green, but the paint was chipping off. The bench sat under a big oak tree near the fountain, and there, just like every day for the past 4 months, sat Lily Martinez. Lily was 16 years old. She had dark hair that she kept in a ponytail. Her clothes were clean but old. She wore a gray hoodie and blue jeans with holes in the knees. Her sneakers were worn out. Next to her sat a backpack that held everything she owned. Lily had been living on the streets for 8 months. She slept in shelters when she could get a bed. When the shelters were full, she slept in doorways or under bridges. She had been in foster care since she was 5 years old. When she turned 16, there was no more room for her in the system. So she ended up on the streets with nowhere to go. "Hi, Alex," Lily said when she saw him coming. She smiled and moved over to make room on the bench. "Hi, Lily," Alex said. He sat down next to her and handed her one of the brown bags. "Ham and cheese today. With that mustard you like." "Thanks," Lily said. She took the bag and opened it. Inside was a sandwich, an apple, a bag of chips, and a bottle of water. "You always remember what I like." Alex opened his own bag. He had the same lunch. Ham and cheese sandwich, apple, chips, and water. He could afford to eat at the fanciest restaurants in the city. But he preferred eating lunch on this old bench with Lily. 4 months ago, Alex had been walking through the park after a bad meeting. His company was having problems with a new computer design. The meeting had gone on for hours and nothing got fixed. Alex was angry and tired. He needed fresh air. That was when he first saw Lily. She was sitting on this same bench looking hungry and sad. She was trying to read a thick book about mathematics. The book looked like it came from the library. Alex could see her stomach was empty. Her clothes were dirty. But she was reading about advanced math problems that most college students could not understand. Something about that made Alex stop walking. Here was a girl with no home, no money, no help from anyone. But she was trying to learn math that was harder than what his computer engineers studied in school. Alex went to the deli and bought 2 lunches. He came back and offered one to Lily. Lily was scared at first. She thought Alex might want something bad from her. Lots of men tried to take advantage of girls living on the streets. But Alex just sat down and ate his own lunch. He asked her about the math book. They talked about numbers and equations while they ate. That was 4 months ago. Every weekday since then, Alex and Lily met at the same bench at the same time. They ate lunch together and talked. Sometimes they talked about math and science. Sometimes they talked about books Lily read at the library. Sometimes they just sat quietly and watched the people walk by. "How was your morning?" Alex asked. He bit into his sandwich. "Good," Lily said. "I went to the library early. I was reading about quantum physics. There was this problem about particles moving faster than light. I think I figured out part of the answer." Alex almost choked on his sandwich. Quantum physics was the science his company was trying to use in their new computers. His team of engineers with fancy degrees had been working on similar problems for 2 years. And here was Lily, who never finished high school, solving them in her head. "What kind of answer?" Alex asked. Lily pulled a piece of paper from her backpack. It was covered with numbers and symbols written in pencil. The writing was small and neat. Alex looked at the equations. He could barely understand them, but they looked correct. See, if you think about the particles like waves instead of solid things, Lily explained, then they can be in two places at the same time. That means information can move between them instantly, even if they are far apart. Alex stared at the paper. This was exactly what his engineers were trying to figure out. Lily had written it out like it was simple, like it was obvious. Where did you learn to do this? Alex asked. Lily shrugged. Books, mostly. And the internet at the library. Math just makes sense to me. It is like a language I always understood. Alex looked at this teenage girl sitting next to him. She had no home, no family, no help from anyone. She lived day to day, never knowing where her next meal would come from. But her mind could solve problems that stumped teams of scientists. You know, Alex said carefully, you could probably get into any university in the country with skills like this. Lily laughed, but it was not a happy laugh. With what money? I do not even have a high school diploma. No college would look at someone like me. Alex wanted to tell her that was not true. He wanted to say he could help her get into school. He could pay for everything. But he knew Lily would not accept that kind of help. She was proud. She did not like taking charity, even though she clearly needed it. That was one thing Alex admired about Lily. She never asked him for anything except friendship. She never tried to get money from him. She just wanted someone to talk to. Someone who treated her like a normal person instead of a homeless kid. Well, Alex said, maybe things will change someday. They finished eating in comfortable silence. Around them, the park was busy with people. Business people hurried past talking on phones. Students sat under trees studying. Tourists took pictures of the fountain. But Alex and Lily sat in their own little world on the old green bench. A billionaire and a homeless girl who had become friends. Neither of them knew that their daily meetings were being watched by eyes that were not human. Neither of them knew that their simple friendship was about to change everything. When lunch was over, Alex stood up and brushed crumbs off his expensive suit. Same time tomorrow? He asked. Same time tomorrow, Lily agreed. Alex walked back to his building full of important meetings and billion-dollar decisions. Lily walked to the library to read more books about science and math. Both of them looked forward to lunch the next day, when they would sit on their bench and talk about the world high above Earth. Something watched them go. Something that found their friendship very interesting indeed. 300 light-years away from Earth, in a space station the size of a small moon, Zephyr 9 stared at screens showing planet Earth. The screens were not like human television. They showed information in colors and patterns that would hurt human eyes to look at. Zephyr 9 was not human. She was Zenthari. The Zenthari looked somewhat like humans, but taller and thinner. Their skin was pale blue and their eyes were large and silver. They had no hair. Instead of ears, they had small holes on the sides of their heads. They wore simple gray clothes that seemed to be made of liquid metal. The Zenthari had been watching many planets for thousands of years. They were the oldest and most powerful species in this part of the galaxy. They had faster-than-light ships. They had weapons that could destroy whole solar systems. They had computers that could think faster than any human brain. But the Zenthari had a problem. They were getting bored. For all their power and knowledge, the Zenthari had become predictable. They made all decisions based on logic and math. They never did anything that did not make sense. They never took risks. They never made mistakes. This had kept them safe and powerful for a very long time. But it also meant that nothing surprised them anymore. That was why they watched other planets. They looked for species that might be different, species that might do unexpected things. Most planets they watched were boring. The creatures on those worlds followed simple patterns. Hunt for food, find mates, avoid danger, die. Nothing interesting ever happened. But humans were different. Zephyr 9 had been studying humans for 40 years. At first, she thought humans would be like all the others. They fought wars over resources. They competed for mates. They tried to survive. All normal behavior that the Zenthari could predict with their computers. But then Zephyr 9 started noticing strange things. Humans would sometimes help other humans who were not family. They would give food to strangers. They would risk their lives to save people they did not know. They would spend their own resources to help those who could, never pay them back. This made no sense to the Zinthari. Why would any creature waste energy helping someone who was not related to them? How did humans survive as a species if they kept giving away their advantages? The Zinthari had a name for this behavior. They called it irrational compassion. Their computer said it was a weakness that should have killed humans millions of years ago, but instead, humans had grown stronger. They had built cities and machines. They had art and music. They had science and mathematics. The Zinthari Council had been debating what to do about humans for decades. Some wanted to destroy Earth before humans could build spaceships and spread their strange behavior to other worlds. Others wanted to study humans more carefully. A few suggested making contact and trying to understand how irrational compassion could be an advantage instead of a weakness. Zephyr 9 was part of the study group. She had collected millions of examples of human compassion. Rich humans giving money to poor humans. Healthy humans taking care of sick humans. Strong humans protecting weak humans. But most of these examples were short-term. Humans would help once or twice, then go back to taking care of themselves. That was why Alex and Lily were so interesting. Zephyr 9 had been watching their daily meetings for all 4 months. At first, she thought Alex was trying to get something from Lily. Maybe information. Maybe he wanted to look good for other humans. Maybe he had some hidden reason that would make sense to Zinthari logic. But as the days went by, Zephyr 9 could not find any logical reason for Alex's behavior. He gained nothing from helping Lily. In fact, it made his life more complicated. His business partners thought he was strange for eating lunch in the park instead of at expensive restaurants. Some humans made jokes about the rich man and the homeless girl. Alex kept meeting Lily anyway. And Lily was just as confusing. She could have tried to get money from Alex. She could have told other humans about their friendship and used it to get help. She could have asked Alex to solve all her problems. But she never did any of these things. She just wanted to be his friend. Zephyr 9 showed recordings of Alex and Lily to other Zinthari scientists. They all agreed that the behavior made no logical sense. A rich human and a poor human from completely different backgrounds, meeting every day just to talk and share food, for months, with no practical benefit to either of them. But there was something else about Alex and Lily that made Zephyr 9 curious. The girl was solving mathematical problems that should have been impossible for a human with no formal education. And she was doing it naturally, like breathing. Zephyr 9 had run Lily's equations through Zinthari computers. The math was not just correct, it was elegant. It showed understanding of concepts that took most species thousands of years to discover. Lily was figuring out advanced physics by reading library books and thinking about problems while she sat on park benches. This was another thing that made no sense. How could a homeless human child understand quantum mechanics better than trained scientists? Then Zephyr 9 noticed something interesting in the recordings. Lily's mathematical breakthroughs always happened after her conversations with Alex. Not because Alex taught her anything. Alex did not understand the advanced math himself. But somehow talking to Alex helped Lily think more clearly. Their friendship was making her smarter. This was completely impossible according to Zinthari science. Intelligence was fixed. You were born with a certain capacity, and that was it. Education could fill that capacity, but it could not increase it. Yet Lily seemed to be getting more intelligent every week. Her solutions to physics problems were becoming more creative and sophisticated. Zephyr 9 brought this discovery to the Zinthari Council. The 12 members of the council sat in a circle around a floating crystal that glowed with soft light. Each council member was over 500 years old. They had seen civilizations rise and fall across the galaxy. The human child's intelligence is increasing, Zephyr 9 reported. This should not be possible. Perhaps our measurements are wrong, said council leader Vex Prime. His silver eyes showed no emotion. Perhaps the child was always intelligent and we simply did not notice. No, Zephyr 9 said. She showed holographic recordings of Lily's mathematical work from 4 months ago compared to her work from yesterday. The complexity and sophistication of her solutions has grown dramatically. She is becoming more intelligent through her friendship with the wealthy human. The council members looked at each other. In their thousands of years of studying the galaxy, they had never seen anything like this. "How is this possible?" asked Council Member Nick 7. "I have a theory," Zephyr 9 said. "The daily emotional support from Alex gives Lily confidence and peace of mind. This allows her brain to work at full capacity. Without the stress of survival, she can focus entirely on learning and thinking. But humans face survival stress throughout their lives," pointed out Council Member Keth 2. "Why would removing it for 1 hour per day make such a difference?" "Because," Zephyr 9 said slowly, "it is not just about removing stress. Alex's friendship shows Lily that someone believes in her intelligence and values her thoughts. This emotional validation may be unlocking potential that was always there, but never had a chance to develop." The council was quiet for a long moment. If Zephyr 9 was right, then human compassion was not just irrational behavior. It was a tool for helping other humans reach their maximum potential, a way of creating intelligence and innovation that logical species like the Xanthari had never discovered. "This changes everything," said Vex Prime finally. "If compassion can increase intelligence, then humans may become far more advanced than our predictions suggest." "Should we destroy them now before they become a threat?" asked Keth 2. "No," said Vex Prime. "We need to test this theory. We need to see if human compassion truly creates intelligence or if Alex and Lily are just a rare exception." Zephyr 9 leaned forward. "What kind of test do you have in mind?" "We will create a situation that forces Alex and Lily to choose between helping each other and helping themselves," Vex Prime said. "If their compassion is real, they will sacrifice their own interest to protect their friend. If it is fake, they will abandon each other when the cost becomes too high. And then, if their compassion proves to be genuine, we will make contact with humanity. We will learn from them. But if they fail the test, we will know that human compassion is just another survival strategy, and we will take appropriate action to protect the galaxy from their unpredictable behavior." Zephyr 9 nodded. She looked back at her screen showing Alex and Lily eating lunch on their bench in Washington Square Park. They had no idea that their simple friendship had caught the attention of the most powerful species in the galaxy. They had no idea that the future of humanity might depend on whether their caring for each other was real or just an act. The test would begin soon. And then the Xanthari would know if humans were truly special, or just another predictable species after all. In the park below, Alex and Lily finished their sandwiches and talked about mathematics. Above them, invisible and silent, the Watchers prepared to change their lives forever. Alex walked to Washington Square Park on Tuesday morning with 2 brown bags from Tony's Deli. It was colder than usual. Yellow leaves fell from the trees and covered the ground. Alex pulled his coat tighter as he walked to their usual bench. But Lily was not there. Alex looked around the park. Maybe she was at a different bench, maybe she was running late. He sat down and waited. 12:30 came and went, then 12:45, then 1 o'clock. Lily never showed up. This had never happened before. In 4 months, Lily had missed their lunch meeting only twice. Once when she was sick with the flu. Once when the police cleared out the shelter where she was staying and she had to find a new place to sleep. Both times, she had found Alex the next day to explain what happened. Alex ate his lunch alone. The sandwich tasted like nothing. He kept looking around, hoping to see Lily walking toward him with her worn-out backpack and her bright smile. But she never came. After an hour, Alex gave up waiting. He walked back to his office building, but he could not concentrate on work. Where was Lily? Was she hurt? Was she in trouble? Alex had no way to contact her. She had no phone, no address, no family to call. That night, Alex could not sleep. He kept thinking about Lily sitting somewhere cold and hungry while he was safe in his expensive apartment. The next morning, he called his assistant. "Cancel my meetings for today," Alex said. "I have something important to do." Alex spent Wednesday searching for Lily. He went to every homeless shelter in the city, He talked to social workers and police officers. He walked through areas where homeless people gathered. Nobody had seen a 16-year-old girl with dark hair and a gray hoodie. On Thursday, Alex hired a private detective. The detective was a former police officer named Carl Brooks. He specialized in finding missing people. "Tell me everything you know about this girl," Carl said. They sat in Alex's office high above the city. Alex told Carl about meeting Lily in the park, about their daily lunches, about how smart she was with mathematics, about how she had been in foster care before ending up on the streets. Carl took notes. "What's her full name?" "Lily Martinez." "Do you know her birthday? Her social security number? Names of any foster families she lived with?" Alex realized he knew very little about Lily's background. They talked about math and science and books. They talked about ideas. But Lily rarely spoke about her past. It seemed to make her sad. "I'll start with the name and age," Carl said. "Martinez is a common name, but there can't be too many 16-year-old Lily Martinez girls in the foster care system." Carl left to begin his search. Alex tried to work, but his mind kept wandering. Every few minutes he looked out his window toward the park, hoping to see a small figure with a backpack sitting on their bench. On Friday morning, Carl called with news. "I found her," Carl said. "She's in juvenile detention downtown. She was arrested Monday night." "Arrested?" Alex felt his stomach drop. "For what?" "Theft. She's accused of stealing a laptop computer from the public library." Alex could not believe it. Lily would never steal anything. She was the most honest person he knew. When Alex bought her lunch every day, she always tried to pay him back somehow. She would bring him interesting articles she found in newspapers. She would share mathematical problems she had solved. She never took anything without giving something in return. "There has to be a mistake," Alex said. "Maybe," Carl said. "But they have security camera footage showing her leaving the library with the laptop, and they found the laptop in her backpack when they arrested her." Alex hung up the phone and stared out his window. This made no sense. Why would Lily steal a laptop? She could use the computers at the library anytime she wanted, and she was too smart to get caught on camera if she really wanted to steal something, unless someone wanted her to get caught. Alex felt a cold feeling in his stomach. 3 days ago, he had been in a meeting with Neurodyne's board of directors. They were discussing a huge government contract worth $500 million. The contract would make Neurodyne the military's main supplier of quantum computers. But Neurodyne had competition. A company called TechCorp wanted the same contract. TechCorp was owned by Marcus Webb, a man who had tried to buy Neurodyne several times. When Alex refused to sell, Webb had made threats. He said he would destroy Alex's reputation and his company. What if Webb had found out about Alex's friendship with Lily? What if he had set her up to make Alex look bad? A billionaire who spent time with a homeless girl who turned out to be a thief would be big news. It would embarrass Alex right before the government made their decision about the contract. Alex called his lawyer, Janet Stone. She was the best criminal defense attorney in the city. "I need you to represent someone," Alex said. "A 16-year-old girl named Lily Martinez. She's in juvenile detention on theft charges." "Is she family?" Janet asked. "She's a friend." "This is going to cost a lot of money, Alex. Juvenile cases can drag on for months, and if the media finds out you're paying for her defense, it could raise questions about your relationship with her." Alex thought about what his business partners would say, what the newspapers would write, what it would do to the government contract. Then he thought about Lily sitting in a jail cell, scared and alone. "I don't care about the cost," Alex said, "and I don't care what people say, just get her out of there." While Janet worked on Lily's case, Alex did his own investigation. He used his connections to get copies of the security footage from the library. He studied the video frame by frame. The footage showed Lily at a computer in the library, working on mathematical equations. Then it showed her picking up a laptop from a nearby table and putting it in her backpack. Then it showed her walking out of the library. But something was wrong with the video. Alex had worked with computer graphics for years. He could see tiny glitches in the footage, small errors that happened when video was edited. Someone had changed the original recording to make it look like Lily stole the laptop. Alex took the evidence to Janet. She had her own computer experts analyze the video. They confirmed that it had been altered. Someone went to a lot of trouble to frame this girl, Janet said. Who would want to hurt her? Someone who wants to hurt me, Alex said. He told Janet about Marcus Webb and the government contract. Meanwhile, in her jail cell, Lily was trying to stay calm by working on math problems. She had no paper, so she wrote equations on the walls with a piece of chalk she found. The numbers and symbols covered every inch of space around her bed. A guard named Pete Rodriguez walked by Lily's cell during his rounds. He saw the mathematical formulas on the walls and stopped. Pete had studied engineering in college before becoming a prison guard. He recognized some of the equations. They were about quantum physics and computer science, advanced stuff that most college students could not understand. Pete took pictures of the walls with his phone. When he got home, he posted the pictures on social media with a caption, "This kid in juvie is some kind of math genius. Look at this stuff she wrote on." Her cell walls. The post went viral. Thousands of people shared the pictures. Mathematics professors from universities around the country saw the equations and realized they were looking at something extraordinary. One of those professors was Dr. Patricia Hayes from MIT. She studied quantum physics and had written textbooks about it. When she saw Lily's equations, she could not believe her eyes. The work was brilliant. It solved problems that had puzzled scientists for years. Dr. Hayes drove to the juvenile detention center the next day. She asked to meet with Lily. When they brought Lily to the visiting room, Dr. Hayes spread printouts of the cell wall pictures on the table. "Did you write these?" Dr. Hayes asked. Lily nodded. She looked embarrassed. "I'm sorry about writing on the walls. I just needed something to do with my mind. When I get scared, math helps me feel better." "Don't apologize," Dr. Hayes said. "This is incredible work. Where did you learn quantum mechanics?" "From books, mostly. And online when I could get computer time at the library." Dr. Hayes shook her head in amazement. "I have graduate students who couldn't solve these problems. How old are you?" 16. "Have you ever been to college?" "I never finished high school. I've been in foster care most of my life. Then on the streets." Dr. Hayes felt her heart break. Here was one of the most brilliant young minds she had ever encountered, wasting away in the juvenile justice system because of circumstances beyond her control. "Listen to me carefully," Dr. Hayes said. "You have an extraordinary gift. These equations you wrote show understanding of concepts that most people never grasp. Even with years of education, I want to help you develop this talent." "I can't pay for college," Lily said quietly. "Don't worry about that. There are programs for students like you, scholarships, special admissions. I have connections at MIT and other schools. But first, we need to get you out of here." Dr. Hayes called the best lawyers she knew. She wrote letters to the judge explaining Lily's intellectual abilities. She organized a group of mathematics professors to speak on Lily's behalf. But Janet Stone, Alex's lawyer, was already working on the case. She had proof that the security video was fake. She had evidence that someone had planted the laptop in Lily's backpack. She was preparing to show that Lily had been framed. Neither Alex nor Dr. Hayes knew about each other yet. Both were fighting to help Lily. But from Dr. Patricia Hayes could not stop thinking about the equations she had seen on Lily's cell walls. She had been studying quantum physics for 20 years. She had written papers that other scientists around the world read and respected. But what Lily had written was something completely new. Patricia went back to her office at MIT and spread printed copies of the cell wall photos across her desk. She got out her calculator and started checking Lily's work step by step. Every equation was correct. But more than that, they were elegant, beautiful. They solved problems in ways that Patricia had never thought of. One equation in particular caught her attention. It was about something called quantum entanglement. This was the idea that two particles could be connected across vast distances. When something happened to one particle, the other particle would react instantly, even if they were on opposite sides of the universe. Scientists had known about quantum entanglement for decades, but nobody had figured out how to use it for practical things like communication or computing. The math was too complicated. The physics was too strange. But Lily's equation showed a way to make it work. She had found a mathematical bridge between the weird world of quantum particles and the normal world where humans lived. If her math was correct, it could change everything about how computers worked. It could even make it possible to send messages faster than light. Patricia called her colleague Dr. Robert Kim. He was one of the smartest physicists she knew. "Robert, I need you to look at something," Patricia said. "Can you come to my office right away?" When Robert arrived, Patricia showed him Lily's equations. He studied them quietly for several minutes. His eyes got wider and wider as he understood what he was looking at. "Where did this come from?" Robert asked finally. "A 16-year-old homeless girl wrote it on her jail cell wall." Robert laughed. "Come on, Patricia. This is graduate-level work, maybe even postgraduate. No teenager could have done this. I met her yesterday. She's real, and she's brilliant." Robert studied the equations again. If this math is correct, it would be the biggest breakthrough in quantum physics in 50 years. "Are you sure she did this herself? She told me she learned from library books and internet research." "That's impossible." But as Robert checked the math more carefully, he realized it was not impossible. It was just incredible. Lily had taken ideas from dozens of different scientific papers and combined them in a completely new way. She had seen connections that nobody else had noticed. Meanwhile, across the city, Alex was learning disturbing things about who had framed Lily. His private detective Carl Brooks had been following the trail of evidence. The fake security video had been created by a company called Digital Solutions. Digital Solutions was owned by a man named Frank Torres, and Frank Torres worked for Marcus Webb at TechCorp. "Webb definitely orchestrated this," Carl told Alex. "He found out about your friendship with the girl and saw an opportunity to embarrass you right before the government contract decision." Alex felt anger burning in his chest. Webb had hurt an innocent girl just to damage Alex's business reputation. Lily was sitting in jail because of corporate greed and competition. "Can we prove Webb was behind it?" Alex asked. "Maybe. Torres is a small-time criminal. If we pressure him enough, he might admit that Webb paid him to frame the girl. But pressuring Torres would take time, and Lily was stuck in jail while they built their case." Alex's lawyer, Janet Stone, was working on a different approach. She had computer experts analyze the fake video frame by frame. They found dozens of small errors that proved the footage had been altered. She was preparing to present this evidence to the judge. "We can get the charges dropped," Janet told Alex, "but it might take a few weeks to get a court hearing." "A few weeks?" Alex could not hide his frustration. Lily shouldn't spend another day in that place. "I'm doing everything I can." But the system moves slowly. That afternoon, Alex got an unexpected phone call. It was from Dr. Patricia Hayes. "Mr. Kane, my name is Patricia Hayes. I'm a professor at MIT. I understand you know Lily Martinez." Alex was surprised. "How did a professor at MIT know about Lily?" "Yes, I know her." "How did you hear about her?" "I saw pictures of mathematical equations she wrote in her jail cell." "Mr. Kane, I need to tell you something important. Lily is a mathematical genius. The work she did shows understanding of quantum physics that most scientists never achieve." Alex felt a mixture of pride and sadness. He had always known Lily was smart, but hearing it from a professor at MIT made it real in a new way, and it made him even more angry that she was trapped in the juvenile justice system. "Can you help her?" Alex asked. "I want to try, but first I need to understand her background better." "How do you know her?" Alex told Dr. Hayes about meeting Lily in the park, about their daily lunches, about her love of mathematics and her situation on the streets. "You've been meeting with her every day for 4 months?" Dr. Hayes sounded amazed. "Just to be her friend?" "Just to be her friend," Alex confirmed. Dr. Hayes was quiet for a moment. She was thinking about what kind of person would spend time every day with a homeless teenager for no reason except kindness. "Mr. Kane, I think we should work together to help Lily. You're fighting the legal battle. I can fight the academic battle. Between us, maybe we can give her the future she deserves." Alex agreed immediately. While Janet Stone worked on proving Lily's innocence, Dr. Hayes started making phone calls to admissions officers at top universities. She sent them copies of Lily's equations. She explained the girl's situation and her incredible potential. The response was overwhelming. Every school wanted to meet Lily. Harvard, MIT, Stanford, Princeton. They all offered full scholarships sight unseen, based only on the mathematics she had written on her cell walls. But first, they had to get her out of jail. Janet Stone finally got a court hearing scheduled for the following Monday. She would present evidence that the security video was fake and that Lily had been framed. Alex would be there to support Lily. Dr. Hayes would be there to speak about her academic potential. The night before the hearing, Alex could not sleep. He kept thinking about Lily sitting alone in her cell. He wondered if she knew that people were fighting for her. He wondered if she was scared. In her cell, Lily was not scared. She was thinking about mathematics. The equations on her walls had led her to new ideas. She was working out problems in her head about how quantum particles might be used to build faster computers. She did not know that her mathematical work was being studied by professors around the country. She did not know that universities were offering her scholarships. She just knew that Alex was her friend and that he would not abandon her. Lily had learned not to expect much from life. She had been disappointed too many times. But Alex had shown her that some people could be trusted. Some people kept their promises. Some people cared about her as a person, not as a problem to be solved. That belief in Alex's friendship gave Lily strength. Whatever happened in court, she knew she was not alone. High above Earth, the Xanthari observers watched all of these events with growing amazement. The test they had created to measure human compassion was producing results they had never expected. Alex was risking his business reputation and spending large amounts of money to help Lily. Dr. Hayes was using her academic influence to fight for a girl she had just met. Lawyers and professors and university admissions officers were all getting involved in helping one homeless teenager, and Lily, instead of becoming bitter or angry about being framed, was using her time in jail to make scientific breakthroughs. Her mathematical work was advancing human knowledge even while she was locked up. This changes everything we thought we knew about intelligent species, Zephyr 9 reported to the Xanthari Council. Human compassion is not just emotional behavior. It is creating a network of cooperation that makes their entire species more capable. How so? Asked Council Leader Vex Prime. Alex's friendship with Lily gave her the emotional stability to develop her mathematical abilities. Now those abilities are inspiring other humans to help her. Dr. Hayes sees Lily's potential and wants to nurture it. Universities want to educate her. The compassion is spreading and multiplying. The council was silent as they considered this. In all their studies of galactic civilizations, they had never seen anything like it. Most species competed with each other. The strong dominated the weak. Resources went to whoever could take them, but humans were doing something different. They were using their emotions to identify potential in unlikely places. They were investing in individuals who could not immediately pay them back. They were building a society where intelligence and talent could emerge from anywhere. What does this mean for our decision about humanity? Asked Council Member Nick 7. It means, said Vex Prime slowly, that we may have found something we have been looking for without knowing it. A species that can surprise us. A species that might teach us something new. The council voted to continue observing. The test would conclude when Alex and Lily faced their final choice. But already, the Xanthari were beginning to suspect that humanity might be more valuable as allies than as subjects for study. On Monday morning, Lily would face the judge. Her future would be decided by humans who believed in justice and compassion. And far above, ancient aliens would learn whether their cold logic. Monday morning arrived gray and cold. Alex put on his best suit and drove to the courthouse downtown. He had barely slept all weekend, thinking about Lily and the hearing that would decide her future. Janet Stone met him outside the courtroom. She carried a briefcase full of evidence proving that Lily had been framed. "Are you ready for this?" Janet asked. "I've been ready since the day she disappeared," Alex said. Dr. Patricia Hayes arrived a few minutes later. She had flown in from Boston specifically for this hearing. In her bag, she carried letters from 12 different universities offering Lily full scholarships. "Any word from the prosecutor about a plea deal?" Patricia asked. "They offered one," Janet said. Lily could plead guilty to a minor charge and get time served. She would be released today but have a criminal record. "What did she say?" Alex asked. "She refused. She said she didn't steal anything and wouldn't say she did, even to get out of jail." Alex felt proud of Lily. Even after a week in detention, she still had the courage to stand up for the truth. They went inside the courtroom and waited for Lily to be brought in. When she appeared, Alex's heart nearly broke. She looked thin and tired. Her gray hoodie was wrinkled, but her eyes were still bright and alert. Lily saw Alex in the gallery and smiled. It was the first time she had smiled in a week. The hearing began. The prosecutor presented his case first. He showed the security video of Lily taking the laptop. He brought in the guard who had arrested her. Everything looked bad for Lily. Then Janet Stone stood up to present the defense. "Your Honor, this entire case is based on fabricated evidence," Janet said. She had her computer expert show the court frame-by-frame analysis of the security video. The expert pointed out dozens of small digital errors that proved the footage had been altered. "The video showing my client taking the laptop is fake," Janet continued. "It was created by Digital Solutions, a company hired by TechCorp Industries. TechCorp's owner, Marcus Webb, wanted to embarrass my client's friend Alex Kane before an important business contract decision." The prosecutor objected. He said there was no proof of a conspiracy. But Janet was prepared. She had found financial records showing payments from TechCorp to Digital Solutions. She had phone records of calls between Webb and the man who created the fake video. The evidence was overwhelming. Someone had definitely framed Lily. Then Dr. Patricia Hayes was called to speak as a character witness. She walked to the front of the courtroom and faced the judge. "Your Honor, I have been studying mathematics and physics for 20 years, Patricia said. "I have never encountered a mind like Lily Martinez's. The mathematical work she produced while in detention shows genius-level understanding of quantum mechanics." Patricia showed the judge photographs of the equations Lily had written on her cell walls. She explained what they meant and why they were so important. "This young woman has the potential to make discoveries that could benefit all of humanity," Patricia said. "Keeping her in the juvenile justice system would be a tragedy not just for her, but for the advancement of human knowledge." The judge listened carefully to all the evidence. He looked at the proof that the video was fake. He studied Lily's mathematical work. He considered the testimony from professors and the scholarship offers from universities. Finally, he made his decision. "All charges against Lily Martinez are hereby dismissed," the judge said. "The evidence clearly shows she was the victim of a deliberate conspiracy. Ms. Martinez, you are free to go." Lily felt tears in her eyes. Alex jumped up from his seat. Dr. Hayes smiled and clapped quietly. But as they left the courthouse, strange things began to happen. Alex got into his car to drive back to work. When he turned on the radio instead of music, he heard mathematical equations being read aloud in a mechanical voice. The equations were solutions to problems his company had been working on for months. Alex pulled over and called his office. His assistant said the same thing was happening to all the computers in the building. Mathematical formulas were appearing on screens, complex calculations that nobody had programmed. Meanwhile, Lily walked to the public library to use a computer. She wanted to research the universities that Dr. Hayes had mentioned, but when she sat down at a computer terminal, the screen showed mathematical equations she had never seen before. The equations were beautiful and elegant. They built on the work she had been doing in her jail cell, but took it much further. They showed how quantum entanglement could be used not just for fast computers, but for communication across vast distances. Lily stared at the screen. She recognized the mathematical style. It was similar to her own work but more advanced. Much more advanced. It was as if someone with perfect understanding of physics was trying to teach her. Alex left his office and drove to the library. He found Lily staring at a computer screen covered with equations. "Are you seeing this too?" Alex asked. "Yes," Lily said. These formulas just appeared. I didn't type them. But they're incredible. They show how to send messages faster than light. Alex and Lily left the library together. They walked toward Washington Square Park, their usual meeting place. As they walked, more strange things happened. Streetlights flickered in patterns that looked like mathematical symbols. Digital billboards displayed complex physics equations instead of advertisements. Cell phones in the area started receiving text messages written in mathematical notation. By the time Alex and Lily reached their bench in the park, they knew something extraordinary was happening. This was not a computer malfunction. This was not a coincidence. Someone or something was trying to communicate with them using mathematics. They sat on their familiar bench and waited. The park was unusually quiet. Other people seemed to have left the area without knowing why. Even the pigeons were gone. Then, on the bench between them, something appeared. It looked like a piece of crystal, but it glowed with soft blue light. The crystal was perfectly smooth and seemed to float just above the wooden bench. Mathematical equations danced in the light inside the crystal. Alex and Lily looked at each other. Neither of them was scared. After everything they had been through, together, they could face anything. The crystal pulsed brighter. Then a voice spoke, seeming to come from the air around them. Alex Kane. Lily Martinez. Do not be afraid. The voice was calm and gentle, but clearly not human. It had a musical quality, like wind chimes made of metal. We have been watching you, the voice continued. We are called the Zenthari. We come from a place far from Earth. A shape began to form in the air above the crystal. It was a hologram of a tall, thin being with pale blue skin and large silver eyes. The being wore simple gray clothing and had no hair. My name is Zephyr 9, the being said. I am a student of intelligent species. For many years we have been studying your people. Alex found his voice first. You're aliens. From another planet. Yes. We have technology that allows us to travel between stars. We have been watching Earth for decades, trying to understand human behavior. Lily leaned forward. Why are you revealing yourselves to us? Why not contact our governments or scientists? Zephyr 9's expression seemed to soften, though it was hard to tell with her alien features. Because you two represent something we find remarkable about humanity. Your friendship has shown us that human compassion is not weakness, but strength. The alien explained how the Zenthari had been debating what to do about humanity, how they had tested Alex and Lily's friendship to see if human compassion was real or fake. Your species is unique, Zephyr 9 said. Most intelligent beings in the galaxy make decisions based on logic and self-interest. But humans like you make choices based on caring for others. This creates possibilities we never imagined. She gestured toward Lily. Your mathematical abilities have been enhanced by the emotional support Alex provided. This should not be possible according to our science. Intelligence is supposed to be fixed. But human relationships seem to unlock potential in ways we do not understand. Alex felt overwhelmed by everything he was hearing. What do you want from us? We want to offer you a choice, Zephyr 9 said. Humanity is not ready for full contact with galactic civilization. Your technology is too primitive. Your governments are too divided. But you two have shown us that humans have qualities the galaxy needs. The crystal pulsed brighter. Inside its light, Alex and Lily could see images of vast spaceships, alien cities, and technologies beyond imagination. We can take you with us, Zephyr 9 said. You would live among the stars. Lily's mathematical genius would be nurtured by the greatest scientist in the galaxy. Alex's understanding of human nature would help us learn from your species. But, the alien continued, accepting our offer would mean leaving Earth forever. You would become ambassadors for humanity, but you could never return home. Alex and Lily sat in silence, staring at the crystal and the alien hologram. They had come to this bench expecting to share lunch and celebrate Lily's freedom. Instead, they were being offered the chance to explore the galaxy. How long do we have to decide? Lily asked quietly. Take all the time you need, Zephyr 9 said. We will return tomorrow for your answer. The hologram faded away. The crystal disappeared. Alex and Lily were alone on their bench, trying to process what had just happened. Above them, invisible and patient, the Zenthari waited to learn what choice two humans would make when offered. Alex and Lily sat on their bench long after the alien hologram disappeared. The park slowly returned to normal. People walked their dogs, children played on swings, street musicians started playing again. But everything felt different now. Did that really happen? Lily asked quietly. Alex nodded. I think so, unless we both had the same dream. They walked slowly out of the park. Neither of them wanted to go home yet. They needed time to think about what Zephyr 9 had offered them, a chance to live among the stars, a chance to represent humanity to alien civilizations across the galaxy. It was the opportunity of a lifetime, but it meant leaving Earth forever. Let's go get coffee, Alex said. We need to talk about this. They found a small cafe near the park. Alex ordered 2 coffees, and they sat at a table in the corner. For a long time, neither of them spoke. They just stared into their cups and thought, "What do you want to do?" Alex asked finally. Lily stirred her coffee slowly. Part of me wants to go. I've always dreamed of learning from the smartest people in the universe, and they're offering that. But Earth is my home. Even though I've been homeless, even though life has been hard here, this is where I belong. And what about you? You've built a whole company here. You have employees who depend on you. Alex had been thinking the same thing. Neurodyne Industries employed 3,000 people. If he disappeared, what would happen to them? And what about his friends, his life, everything he had worked to build? There's something else, Lily said. If we go with them, we'd be the only humans there. We'd be alone together, but alone from our own species. Alex understood what she meant. Their friendship was special because it had grown naturally over months of shared lunches and conversations. But if they were the only humans in a galaxy of aliens, their relationship would change. They would cling to each other out of necessity, not choice. What if there's another way? Lily asked. What do you mean? Zephyr 9 said humanity isn't ready for full contact yet. Our technology is too primitive. Our governments are too divided. But what if we could help humanity get ready? Alex leaned forward. How? You have money and influence. I have mathematical abilities that could advance human science. What if we worked together here on Earth to help our species develop faster? What if we earned our place in the galaxy instead of being given it? The idea excited Alex. Instead of abandoning Earth, they could help improve it. Instead of representing humanity from far away, they could guide humanity's growth from within. The aliens might not like that plan, Alex said. They're offering us something incredible. If we say no, they might not make the offer again. Or they might respect us more for choosing our people over ourselves, Lily said. They talked until the cafe closed. They walked through the city streets discussing possibilities. By the time Alex dropped Lily off at the shelter where she was staying temporarily, they had made their decision. The next day, they returned to Washington Square Park. They sat on their bench and waited. At exactly noon, the crystal appeared again. Zephyr 9's hologram formed in the air above it. Have you reached a decision? The alien asked. Alex spoke first. We're honored by your offer. Truly honored. But we've decided to stay on Earth. Zephyr 9's silver eyes showed surprise. May I ask why? The opportunity we offered is beyond anything your species could achieve for centuries, Lily answered. Because we think humanity's greatest strength is that we care about each other. If we abandon our people to pursue our own advancement, we'd be betraying everything that makes us human. We want to propose something different, Alex continued. Give us time to help humanity develop naturally. Let us use what we've learned from you to guide our species toward being ready for galactic contact. How long would this take? Zephyr 9 asked. We don't know, Lily admitted. Maybe 20 years, maybe 50. But however long it takes, humanity will earn its place among the stars instead of being given it as a gift. The alien was quiet for a long moment. Then she said something that surprised them. Your decision proves that we were right about human compassion. You are choosing the welfare of your entire species over personal gain. This is the behavior that made us believe humanity might be valuable to the galactic community. Zephyr 9. We accept your proposal. We will establish limited contact with your world. We will share some knowledge to help guide your development. But humanity must make its own way to the stars. What kind of knowledge? Alex asked. Mathematical principles that will advance your computing technology. Scientific theories that will help you understand the universe better, but not the complete blueprints for our machines or weapons. Lily felt excitement building. You'll teach us? We will leave information where your brightest minds can find it, including you, Lily Martinez. Your mathematical abilities are the beginning of what humanity needs to understand quantum reality. Over the following weeks, Alex and Lily worked together to create something new. Alex used his wealth to establish the Kane Institute for Advanced Mathematics. It was a research center where brilliant minds from around the world could work on the hardest problems in science. Lily became the Institute's first researcher, even though she was only 16 and had never graduated from high school. Dr. Patricia Hayes left MIT to become the Institute's director. She wanted to be part of whatever breakthrough Lily might achieve next. The Zenthari kept their promise. Complex mathematical formulas began appearing in scientific journals around the world. New theories about quantum physics showed up in university databases. Researchers found solutions to problems they had been struggling with for years. Nobody knew where the information was coming from. Scientists called it the Great Breakthrough Period. Some thought it was just a coincidence that so many discoveries were happening at the same time. Others suspected that someone or something was helping humanity advance. Alex and Lily never told anyone about the aliens. They had promised Zephyr 9 to keep the secret until humanity was ready for the truth. 5 years passed. Lily, now 21, had become one of the world's leading experts on quantum mathematics. She had never taken a formal physics class, but her research papers were read by scientists everywhere. The work she did at the Kane Institute was advancing human understanding of the universe at an incredible pace. Alex continued running Neurodyne Industries, but he spent most of his time at the Institute. His company's quantum computers, built using principles that Lily discovered, were years ahead of any competition. The military contracts that Marcus Webb had tried to steal were just the beginning. Neurodyne was now helping to build the foundation for humanity's technological future. Every day at 12:30, Alex and Lily still met for lunch. Sometimes they ate in the Institute cafeteria. Sometimes they went back to their old bench in Washington Square Park. They talked about mathematics and science, just like they always had. But now their conversations were shaping the future of human civilization. Do you ever regret not going with them? Alex asked one afternoon as they sat on their familiar bench. Lily thought about it. No, I think we made the right choice. We're helping billions of people instead of just ourselves. Even though it means we'll probably never see the galaxy? Who says we won't see it? Lily smiled and pulled out a piece of paper covered with equations. I've been working on something, a way to use quantum entanglement for faster-than-light travel. Alex looked at the mathematics. He could barely understand it, but he recognized the elegance that marked all of Lily's work. You think you can build a spaceship? I think I can. Figure out the theory. You can build the ship, Alex laughed. So we'll get to the stars anyway, just by a longer path. The best path, Lily said. The one where we bring our whole species with us. High above Earth, Zephyr 9 watched their conversation from the Zenthari monitoring station. She was preparing her final report on humanity for the Galactic Council. Recommendation: humanity should be granted full membership in the Galactic Commonwealth when they achieve faster-than-light travel, she wrote. Estimated timeline: 15 to 20 Earth years based on current rate of advancement guided by Lily Martinez's research. Special note: human compassion has proven to be their greatest evolutionary advantage. Their willingness to sacrifice individual gain for species-wide benefit makes them ideal candidates for galactic citizenship. They will contribute perspectives that purely logical species cannot provide. Zephyr 9 attached recordings of Alex and Lily's daily conversations. Over the past 5 years, the Galactic Council would want to understand how two individuals could influence the development of an entire civilization through simple friendship and shared meals. The report concluded, humanity's unique combination of intelligence and compassion represents the next phase in galactic evolution. They are not ready for contact today, but when they are ready, they will be worthy partners in building a better universe. On Earth, Alex and Lily finished their lunch and walked back to the Kane Institute. They had work to do, equations to solve, technologies to develop, a species to guide toward the stars. Behind them, their old bench sat empty under the oak tree, but their friendship continued, stronger than ever. And somewhere in the equations Lily was writing, the seeds of humanity's galactic future were taking root. The millionaire and the homeless girl.